Greetings, fellow mayors. This is Captain Obvious, and in this episode, we will go through the basic and advanced understanding of hotels and retreats. I also have a few design ideas to share as we expand our hotel chain. Hotels and retreats is found in the footer where the parks and plazas button is. Then on the second to the last tab is where the H&R category is, and it will have a pop-up where it has 4 categories. And when you click on the manage hotels, this is where you will see your hotel chain, and you can name it, you can change the logo and the color. So let's go ahead and do that. Regarding the logo, I may be a captain, but I am a Pacific Islander, so I'm going to go with this logo, which I think is versatile, which that you can use on a seaside resort or a luxury or business hotel. So this logo I like, and of course our color will be red. And here you could see the requirements to reach the next hotel to unlock. So for instance, if you want this one, this is a 2-star hotel, you will need at least 60 popularity rating and at least 1,000 weekly income. All right, so let's go ahead and plop down our very first hotel, which is level 1, the budget hotel. And you could see if we pop up our info panel again, so you can see all of this here. Let's go ahead and close this. So shopping, sightseeing, business, and nature. So if I put this down, and then when you click on it, you're gonna see all of this, it has been met, except for the business. It does have a 1 number. So if we look at the panel on the business, you can see that there's actually no business around. The light blue are actually transportation, so that increases it just by 1 point, which is not enough. This actually is a personal challenge that I've never mentioned to anyone. This city does not have any offices anywhere. So I wanted to complete this city with just industries, which is a new challenge and I don't think anyone has ever done. And yeah, we don't have any offices here, but because of hotels and retreats, that plan is now scrapped. So we need to add an office. So despite the fact that there are no offices, our traffic flow is still pretty darn good. And that was basically part of the challenge. All right, so let's add in the offices. Okay, times 3 speed, and we're gonna wait for this to pop up, and let's see how much it will increase. So you can see that just by adding 2 4x4 offices, it is already at 27. There is a specific way to like kind of understand how this works. So I'm gonna delete this and we're gonna put this on the other side, and this should maximize the level. And as this maximizes, you can increase the ticket price, which will increase the profit. And here comes the last building, and there we go. We have 35, and we only have 3 4x4 zonable buildings. Everything else is already entertained by the surrounding areas. To have a better understanding on how that works, we are going to create a new one at a completely blank area. So from here, we are going to add another hotel. So I'm just going to plop it down here. And if you look at the info panel again, you can see that it is completely bare. There's no sightseeing, no shopping, no business, and no nature. And apparently no electricity either. Let's do the nature, which is trees. So a lot of people I notice would kind of like place in trees on the back, but that may help, but there is a better understanding how to do this. First, let's go ahead and add in the other necessities. So for instance, we are going to use this. Okay, so as this zones in, notice how I created, or I left gaps and spaces. So let's add in electricity. All right, if we check the info panel again, so you can see the shopping is entertained. So we have that. We have some businesses, sightseeing we do not have, And nature, of course, we did not place in, even though we have this thing. So if you click, there is absolutely 0. And if you still want to add more trees, that doesn't really help as much. So how does the nature work? So if we look at the info panel again, let's see, nature, you'll see that this, right, it is green. So if we add in more trees, so for instance, if I create a line of trees here, just a few, and then we create another one here, and let's say another one here, and we check the info panel again, you go to nature, you notice that it creates an area. So if you have a concentration of just trees at one side, it doesn't really do much. So you need to have at least 4 corners. So that is why I created this space. So this thing I've been doing for quite a while, but it really works well with this. So let's go ahead and add some trees around this. Okay, so we've added our trees. So if we check our info panel again, we check our nature, so it should be surrounded. And if we look, it should move up, hopefully. Okay, there you go. I did not do anything, and it's 10 of 10. We didn't do anything. However, it will fluctuate for some odd reason, like somebody's chopping down trees. Okay, so now when it comes to the sightseeing, since this is relatively small, I am going to go for just a parking lot, and that should suffice. So if we put it right next to each other, we look at it again, so this will eventually move up. We also need more offices, so I am going to go ahead and zone that on the other side. And another thing about this is you could actually have shared resources or categories. So for instance, if I add in another budget hotel on the other side, it will be a pretty good thing because it is, it already has trees around it. So I'm going to go ahead and plop one down on this end. And we're basically gonna mimic the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look how they're doing. So everything is pacified except for the sightseeing. So we need something a lot stronger than just a parking lot. So it has the same concept where it just needs to be surrounded by the thing. So for example, the trees are surrounding this, and same goes with on this side. So we need to add like a large park that would like basically consume this entire area. So let's go ahead and select a park. Okay, so we've added these two. These are pretty large areas, so that should level up the whole thing. And don't forget to increase its ticket price. Okay, let's check out what we have so far, and look at that. That looks really neat, right? And then if you're traveling this way, right, it's a lot better than just having buildings like all the time like this. It's just an endless network of buildings, but now we have these little breaks. So I also added here, right, just very light decoration. I could add in rocks if I wanted to. So this I did not do. So there are going to be some parts where I missed to fully detail because I am also worried about tree limit. So console players, you're going to have problems because there is a tree limit. And I made a mistake. I used these two. So we are already, we are already at level 2. So if we, I made several mistakes. So first mistake is I used the same exact building. We should be using something else so we will know the profit for each hotel type. So I'm gonna delete this, and we're just gonna plop in a different one. So let's use the level 2, the small hotel. Wow, it's not so small, but that is okay. Let's just shove that in here. Okay, so there's already parking on this side. I guess I could delete this, and as I said, it could have shared resource, so I am going to put this one here, and if we look at it, it should increase. So this one is met, all the requirements are met. This one we just need more nature, so if I just add the same thing on this side, it should do the trick. And we could also just add in more plantation in the back. So I'm going to fill this in, and let's go ahead and use let's zone in some residential, use some of the new Queens and no Brooklyn and Queens content creator pack. Okay, let's take a look. There you go. It pacified that, pacified this, so everything is good. And let's don't forget to increase the price. I think it'll take some time for that to, you know, manage itself. So this is having issues. Well, I just need to plant on that side, so I'm not really too worried. We have our format to make sure that everything every requirement is met. So let's go ahead and add in the others. So there is also this, the roadside motel. I'm going to plop her down here. Okay, the other thing that I missed to mention is that I'm using shortcuts. So for example, F5 is my roads, F6 is my landscaping tools or tools or pathways and whatnot. F7 is the parks and recreation, so that's why I can pop this up at any time. And then I have F9 as my district. So these things are, you know, the basic shortcuts are like 4 or 5, so you could select all of this. When I play normally, I just use these things, and I completely forgot that I'm recording for YouTube. So for YouTube, I have to click on it individually because not a lot of people are familiar. So in case you don't know about the shortcuts, you just go to options, you go to key mapping, and then you can find things. So for example, select roads. So I have that at F5, select districts at F8, and the other one, which is select decoration. So instead of, because they missed to add like hotels panel somewhere here, so you got tours of info, park maintenance, all of that is basically over here, right? But it's missing, so they don't have that. So what I did is just use the select decoration, and that works. So how when you use select decoration, so at any time I click F5 and it'll go there, and it will also go to wherever what tab you were in. So if I was in zoo and then I click somewhere else, right, I unclick, and then if I go F7, the zoos will come out. So it'll always be the last thing you click on. So that is a great tip if you want to like move and build quickly. So I apologize if I've been using that without explaining, especially for new players. So I'm going to try not to do that and just click here so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Oh, last thing about shortcuts, again, I did not mention this. So for example, on network path, you have this thing down here, toggle snapping. So I have it off. I have my own shortcut to turn it back on. So if you see, if I click on it, it's the button next to the number 1. You can also set that there. Just find the toggle snapping button. So what that does is it doesn't snap here. So I have no issue in like kind of putting that down without using Move It Mod. Oh, and so right now I'm using kind of like the repetitive design here, which is completely fine. You can do your own. You can use different types of trees. That is completely up to you. What I'm doing is just showing a guide to give you ideas on how you want to do things. And more importantly, what I do in my channel is make sure that things are done efficiently, the best way as possible. And then everything after that will be completely up to you on how you choose to like build your city and whatever mods you want to use. Okay, that looks good. Let's check everything. So we still need shopping. Yeah, I just need to add on that end. And we also need what is it, sightseeing, and which I plan to do on this end. Okay, so this time around I decided to do a time jump because there's a lot of hotels for us to unlock, and all of this was pretty much repetitive. In any case, let's go. What I did here is I flipped it around so that it's fully surrounded by commercial, as you see here. And if we go back and look at the managed hotel, we need about one more thousand. And if we look at the profit, the small hotel right now earns the most. There is one hotel that I have not used yet, and that is this thing, the rental cabin, but I am pretty sure that this does not produce that much income, so I skipped it. We will get to that a little later. Now we are just gonna put the small hotel within the city. So let's just, and of course this guy will need some offices, and we are pretty sure there are no offices on this side, so let's go ahead and demolish some of these. Okay, so for the most part, we have everything required, and we also have our offices. So that is maximum level, which should unlock. Come on, just a little more. Okay, it doesn't want. There you go. That should do it. Come on, give me my 3 stars. There you go, 3 stars. I almost gave up. So this is my vanilla coastline design using zonable buildings. So this is the green cities high density. So if we zoom in closer, I have pathways that goes around the buildings, and I have this just a T road, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. And if I did that all the way around, it looks great, right? And with our level 3, we can add in the boat hotel. So I am going to put a few over here. So we need to reconfigure this area because the boat hotel requires shopping and some sightseeing. So the unfortunate thing is, for some reason, this boat hotel keep sinking. I've done so many tries on other locations. I've added in a key, but no matter what I did for like over an hour, it just won't go up. Even if I use move it mod, it always sinks. I think it's trying to sink the sign, this giant boat hotel sign, because that should not be there. It just ruins the whole thing. So I think it's trying to sink itself. In any case, let's just ignore that it sinks, and let's continue with the build. Okay, let's take a look closer at this sinking building. It needs shopping and a sightseeing area. So let's go ahead and add in some shopping. I am going to zone in a new area. And this zone type, we are going to make this as a tourism specialization. Okay, there we go. And yeah, I'm gonna make it go on this side as well. I'm going to use the new feature where I don't want to zone in this. So let's go ahead and deactivate this one. So if you just ignore the fact that it's sunken, it doesn't look half bad. I mean, we could just continue to add more until I figure out why it does this. So far, this looks okay. Let's check if it meets all the criteria. So this lacks a little shopping, and it needs slightly more sightseeing. So I just need to add another park. So we'll just add something out here. Okay, that went up. Let's go ahead and increase the price. So we're earning 2,000. Yeah, not too bad. We don't have to worry if it doesn't hit the max, as long as it works. But again, hopefully this gets fixed. I kind of feel like there should be one more. So I'm going to add another sunken boat hotel on this end. Oh, look, it didn't sink. It's a miracle. How did that happen? What did I do? Okay, and we're back. And I managed to fix it. All I did was, I guess I replanted it. I don't know. This caused it to fix the others, I suppose. But all right, let's just go ahead and continue the build on this side. Okay, there we have it. We have 3 boat hotels, and they should all be, for the most part, earning maximum profit. Let's go ahead and increase the price for staying here. From top view, you know, not too bad, right? We could imagine adding more, and you know, all along the coastline. And there's also another type of marina, or you know, shoreline prop that we could use. We have yet to unlock it though, but yeah, look at that. Doesn't look half bad at all, right? So we still have ploppables, so they contribute to the city's growth. We also have some residential, and they are not like disturbing each other. I could add more here. Let's create a new zone type. I'm going to use the shopping malls zoning, and we are just going to maintain the regular offices. So we're going to use the shopping malls, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and start zoning. So here I don't need to do any tree shenanigans, because if we look at the nature, we already are near the coastline, so that provides it itself. So let's go ahead and just zone. I want to put the mountain lodge about here. Let's go ahead and create a road. Okay, we should be getting that 4-star anytime soon, because we definitely exceeded the amount. There we go, 4 stars, and that unlocks new things. So now we have the conference hotel, and we also have a spa resort, which also needs some shopping and sightseeing. So I'm gonna put it right here. I think it will look better if it was more towards the middle, and then we'll bring this closer. All right, so for the most part, this is pretty much maximized. So the mountain lodge is good. Our spa resort is doing fairly well. Let's increase that price. And of course, the rental cabin, oh, it needs more trees, I suppose. Or let's bring it a little closer to the end. And that should fix it. There you go. Okay, so far so good. So this spa resort, I think, looks perfect, especially when it matched with the park with birches. And of course, I added in some trees just to make it look larger than it actually is. So I'm using the same type of trees around it, so it extends even further, or at least it appears so. So in between making all of these hotel areas, so you'll notice that I am slowly expanding, but I'm not really showing it. Simply because I really want to concentrate on the hotel aspect of this episode. Everything else here is just normal, expansion, just adding in some services, adding a school. And with that said, let's go with the next hotel, which is the Ocean Resort. And so it goes around here. So we have this thing here. It'll be really cool if we put like a couple here, and we are going to match this with another asset. So this thing will be the centerpiece. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in, and it just now needs a road. Okay, so far that looks good. Let's go ahead and add the Ocean Resort. Okay, so it seems like we have that same issue again where it is sinking. For now, we're just gonna ignore it and just continue building. What does it need now? So it needs sightseeing and shopping. Okay, let's go ahead and provide that. So when it comes to shopping, I'm going to create a new district style again. So we have our district in, and I am gonna set this as Africa in miniature. So Africa in miniature has commercial areas, and when you zone it in, it looks amazing. So here, check it out. And we are now Megalopolis. That means I can finally unlock this style. So we can have a road going here, and then we're going to continue this layout on this side. But before that, let's go ahead and finish this thing. In this tutorial, I took a different approach to hotels and retreats. So instead of finding an already established area with sightseeing, shopping, business, and nature, then tossing in a hotel that meets its requirements, I showcased how to still get maximum efficiency for the hotels where we have better control of the design around the structures. In my opinion, this is a much better approach to building and design. At least now, we will not be confused as to why won't the nature requirement or other maximize. Instead of being frustrated of the game, we are now much more knowledgeable on how it functions. Overall, I thoroughly enjoy the new game mechanic on planning around the hotels, and this DLC also removes the need to do park life cheese. The earning potential of these hotels are amazing, and at a vanilla level, it makes all the past cities ever created to be obsolete. And I believe that hotels and retreats is now the must-have DLC for City Skylines 1. It's just a complete game changer in a positive way. Okay, let's look at what we have so far. It looks amazing from the top view. Just try to ignore the sunken paths. We're gonna figure that out eventually. Anyway, as we zoom in closer, I did some offline detailing. I added these things, and I added the trees because some of the buildings come in with their own built-in trees, and I always advise to use the same trees around it, so it becomes part of the area. And I really love these huts. I think this is I also use them as the prop huts and placed it all around the area, so it totally matches the scene, especially when well, there's the sunken again, especially when these have like straw roofs. So yeah, this is a really neat idea. The combination of the districts and the structures, it's just a really good idea. And here I use a different type of fence, pretty much the same kind of hedges here. And if we go further to the other side, so this one is the normal one. So if we look out, my idea also is kind of like it's scaling up. So from here on the seaside, and then we have our commercial area, and then it moves up to the end. So these are like the hotels at the back, right? And then they can dine in and have some entertainment up front. And I also use these assets from I don't know what DLC this is. I think this is modern. Let me look. So these are from the Seaside Resorts Content Creator Pack. Wow, that is very appropriate to have these things there. I also use this other building. I've never used it since they came out, and now they fit in this scene. What else? Yeah, so again, looking closer, right? Pretty neat idea. And we have a chopper. Okay, so we have some crime. Oh, speaking of which, let's check the status. So yep, it is earning maximum. That is like the most important thing, right? Everything is maxed, and I'm guessing everything else is also maxed. We still need that 5,000, but overall, at least this is doing well, regardless of the sunken buildings. We still have the level 5 business hotels to unlock, and that deserves its own episode. Fellow mayors, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and please consider subscribing. What do you think of the Hotels and Retreats DLC? And let me know what you enjoyed best about the episode. Until then, this is Captain Obvious. Thank you for watching and for choosing to fly with Obvious Airlines. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next flight.